By embracing the way, we learn to live with a sense of flow. We cease resisting life's current and instead glide with it, having faith in its course. A primary barrier to this faith is overthinking. Our mind believes that by constantly scheming, dissecting, and anticipating, we can shield ourselves from errors or unexpected events. Yet, this effort grows more burdensome, trapping us in a labyrinth of ceaseless what-ifs. Rather than aiding us, overthinking yanks us from the now, the sole point where life truly happens. Lao Tzu presents an alternative path. He tells us that lucidity isn't achieved by compelling the mind into silence. It emerges when we allow it to settle naturally, much like murky water becomes clear when undisturbed. Trust is not forged by mentally practicing every scenario, but by recognizing a greater current is already guiding us. Therefore, ceasing to overthink is not a battle against your thoughts. It is a return to the tangible, your breathing, your physical form, this very instant, and yielding to the enigma of existence. Throughout this presentation, we will examine how to halt overthinking and start trusting the grander design guided by the eternal insights of Lao Tzu. 1. Cease forcing lucidity. Lao Tzu states, "To know you don't know is the pinnacle of wisdom." He taught that life's current cannot be fully contained in language. It is too immense, too profound. Yet the mind resists this. It craves assurance. It demands that everything be logical. So it whirls dissecting, strategizing, and fretting. This is the essence of overthinking, the mind attempting to compress the infinite into a manageable size. This impulse stems from the ego, that quiet inner voice focused on I, me, mine. The ego is not inherently negative. It serves to protect us, define our identity, and navigate society. However, its perspective is limited, and it is afraid of what it cannot predict. When circumstances feel ambiguous, the ego defends us in its singular fashion by escalating its thinking. It revisits history, projects into the future, and grasps for command. Yet, rather than bringing tranquility, this traps us in cycles of anxiety. Imagining the ego as a little watchdog can be useful. It yelps when it's uncertain, expressing itself through skepticism, concern, and constant what-ifs. The more we resist, the more intense its clamor. But if we stop, inhale, and tell ourselves, "It's all right not to know right now," the noise subsides. Consider sending a text that goes unanswered. The ego cries out, "They're angry with me. I must have misspoken," when in reality, the explanation is likely simple: they are occupied, or their battery is drained. The truth is, we don't know. We rarely perceive the complete image immediately. Life operates on its own schedule. Lao Tzu's teachings encourage us to halt when we find ourselves overthinking, to accept the state of not knowing, and to allow for mystery. Rather than demanding immediate understanding, we can have faith that insight will arrive when it is meant to. Thus, whenever you feel your thoughts spiraling or a worry taking hold, softly pose the question, "What mystery am I resisting in this moment?" Mystery is not an obstacle to lucidity. It is the very condition that allows for it. Consider the act of planting a seed. After placing it in the earth, the plant is not instantly visible. For a time, it appears as though there is no progress. This is the mystery. Yet, within that concealed realm, roots are taking hold. Eventually, the plant develops and breaks through the surface, becoming clear to see. Life functions similarly. When situations feel unclear, it is not a sign of stagnation. It signifies that something is developing beyond your current sight. Mystery contains the promise of growth, of fresh concepts, and of unforeseen chances. In trusting this enigma, we are fundamentally trusting life, believing it understands how to reveal itself at the proper pace. 2. View thoughts as ripples, not reality. In the words of Lao Tzu, if you let muddy water stand, it will clear. Earlier, we described the ego as a small watchdog, always yelping. It makes our mind race through endless scenarios, hoping that by thinking intensely enough, it can maintain its grip on control. But in truth, the mind is as incapable of controlling life as our hands are of straightening a flowing river. The more it attempts to push, the more ensnared it becomes. You have likely experienced this. The more you command your mind, don't think about that, the more forcefully the thought returns. The mind isn't silenced through force. It only grows more turbulent. Lao Tzu often used water as a metaphor for teaching. Picture a pond on a blustery day. The moving ripples distort the moon's reflection, making it appear fragmented. This is what occurs when our thoughts are agitated. We see not life itself, but only the disturbances. Now envision that same pond on a calm evening. With nothing added or forced, the moon is reflected with perfect clarity. In a similar manner, when our mind finds stillness, life reveals itself clearly. Thoughts are just like those ripples. They appear and vanish, but they are not the water, nor are they the ultimate truth. You can observe this in your own life. Imagine you present an idea at a meeting, and there's an immediate silence. The mind instantly interjects. Did I sound foolish? Are they criticizing me? The quiet moment suddenly feels charged with meaning. Yet, most often, the reality is straightforward. People were simply processing, or the conversation moved on. The ripples were not the substance. Lao Tzu never instructed us to eliminate thought. This only prompts the mind to struggle more. He offered a gentler method. Permit thoughts to rise and fall organically, like ripples across water. When you stop tossing stones, the pond naturally clears. This is the essence of Wu Wei. Wu Wei is frequently translated as non-action, but it more accurately means effortless action, or non-forcing. It is not idleness. It is aligning with life's flow rather than struggling against it. In the context of the mind, it is letting thoughts drift past like clouds. You don't have to pursue them or suppress them. Given space, they will move on their own. Meditation is one way to cultivate this. Envision yourself sitting beside that pond. Every thought is just another ripple. By not agitating the water, you allow it to become clear. You can practice this right now. Sit peacefully for 5 minutes. Close your eyes and allow thoughts to surface without resistance. Gently focus on your breath, or the sensation of being seated. The point is not to block thoughts, but to have a steady anchor as they drift by. In time, you will find, the less you meddle, the calmer the mind becomes. Stillness is not something you actively create. It is what naturally reemerges when you stop churning the water. And within that quiet, you are no longer entangled in the ego's narratives. You are simply present. For a common example, you're in bed, replaying an earlier conversation. Your mind circles endlessly. Did I say something stupid? Was I misunderstood? Hours go by with no resolution. The conversation is long past. Trying to push the thoughts away is futile. It just keeps you awake. But Wu Wei offers another approach. You acknowledge the thoughts and softly say, "This doesn't need to be resolved tonight." Then you return your focus to your breath, the gentle motion of your chest, the feel of the blanket. The thoughts may still appear, but you no longer follow them. Gradually their hold weakens, and you can drift off to sleep. Ground yourself in bodily wisdom. Lao Tzu advises us to empty your mind, but fill your belly. Weaken your ambitions and strengthen your bones. The Tao is not only found in abstract concepts or high-minded ideas, it exists in your breath, the sensation of your feet on the floor, and the warmth of a mug in your hands. When the mind begins to spiral, the body is your anchor. We are living beings, breathing and moving. The body possesses its own silent wisdom. It doesn't debate or overanalyze, it simply acts. When you touch a hot surface, your hand retracts. If you are tired, your body signals a need for rest. A walk among trees naturally deepens your breathing. This intelligence is more ancient than rational thought. It does not require the ego's incessant commentary. But our mind often doesn't trust this. When the body communicates, "Rest," the ego insists. Push forward. When the body is at ease, the ego manufactures new anxieties. This leads to exhaustion, the mind attempting to micromanage everything, forgetting that life already possesses its own innate guidance. A Taoist practice is to let your awareness descend from your head into your body. Think of the frenetic energy in your mind, the questions, insecurities, and plans. Now visualize it sinking downward, like rain absorbing into the ground. Your breath is a tool for this. Feel the inhale life entering. Feel the exhale release. Notice your chest expanding and contracting. Your shoulders relax. Your stomach softens. Effortlessly, you are brought back to the present, anchored by your physical self. You can practice this at any time. Perhaps you are awaiting a response, and your mind is weaving elaborate stories. Instead of indulging these narratives, shift your focus to your feet. Sense their connection to the ground. Note the feel of your clothing, the ambient sounds, the air against your skin. Gradually, the mental chatter subsides. You are no longer lost in hypothetical futures. You have returned to what is real. This is not about negating thought, it is about achieving balance. As awareness permeates the body, the mind becomes less burdened. Clarity arises organically, just as a wind-swept lake becomes calm. From this centered place, actions emerge with ease. You eat when hungry. You rest when weary. You speak from a place of calm, not anxiety. This is the Tao embodied, uncomplicated, grounded, and unforced. The mind spins because it loses its connection to the earth it rests upon. The body is that earth. By returning to it, you realign with the greater current of life that flows through you. 4. Find rest in simplicity. Lao Tzu noted that, to the mind that is still, the whole universe surrenders. Within Taoism, Lao Tzu described what he termed the three treasures: compassion, moderation, and simplicity. These were not presented as abstract ideals to be revered, but as tangible methods for living in harmony with the Tao. Among these three, Lao Tzu valued simplicity above all. Because when our lives grow complex, simplicity provides stability. It grounds us when our minds wander into endless complications. Consider our typical mode of living. We are perpetually in pursuit of greater success, additional belongings, wider recognition. The moment one objective is achieved, the mind immediately asks, what is next? Even during attempts to relax, our thoughts are busy rehearsing potential problems. This is the breeding ground for overthinking. It's like carrying a backpack at all times. Every what if and what's next adds another stone: a meeting tomorrow, bills next month, uncertainties next year. Soon, the pack becomes so heavy that even a single step feels like a great effort. Simplicity is the decision to set the pack down. This doesn't imply shirking responsibilities or forsaking what is important. It means refusing to carry the weight of everything simultaneously. Simplicity is not about owning nothing. It is about recognizing what is sufficient and releasing the rest. One method to practice this is through moderation. Moderation prompts us to pause and consider, what is enough for this moment? Enough food to be nourished, not overfilled. Enough work to be productive, not depleted. Enough belongings to be comfortable, not burdened. By establishing these limits, the endless pursuit eases, and the mind gains space to breathe. Another path is through gratitude. Gratitude is simplicity of the spirit. When we acknowledge what is already present, a hot meal, our health, a peaceful evening, our focus shifts from what is lacking. Gratitude anchors us in the now, diminishing past regrets and future anxieties. It reveals that we possess more than we realize. Simplicity also manifests in small actions. Organizing a cluttered space isn't just about tidying. It unburdens the mind. Each unorganized pile represents a quiet reminder of an unfinished task. A clearer space promotes a clearer mind. This applies to our time as well. When our days are overscheduled, the mind flits anxiously between tasks. But when we engage in fewer activities with our full presence, life becomes more stable. Even an act as simple as walking with awareness, rather than hurrying through traffic, can transform agitation into serene mindfulness. Overthinking flourishes in clutter, the clutter of our homes, our calendars, and our ambitions. But when we pare back the non-essential, slow our pace, and appreciate what is before us, the inner turmoil begins to quiet. The grip of perpetual wanting is loosened. And in that emerging quiet, the heavy backpack is finally gone. 5. Trust the grander scheme. In our final quotation from Lao Tzu for this video, he states, "Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished." Lao Tzu frequently taught that life unfolds in cycles, not in linear progression. Day becomes night, winter yields to spring, that which ascends will eventually descend, and that which descends will rise once more. This natural cadence is greater than our personal agendas, but the mind often forgets this and tries to impose its own rigid timelines on everything. When we are stuck in overthinking, it is typically because we are demanding that life conform to our preferred narrative. We desire success now, healing now, clarity now. But life operates according to its own seasons, not our deadlines. Some phases require a longer period of darkness before they can blossom. Trusting the grander scheme involves accepting that a moment of feeling stuck may be a period of preparation. You are precisely where you are meant to be, though it may not seem so at this moment. The ego struggles with this notion. It insists, if I don't manage everything, I will fail. But this sense of control is an illusion. The most meticulous plans can be upended by unforeseen events, just as a sudden storm can ruin a season's crops. The Tao teaches that uncertainty is not a flaw in the system, it is part of the design. What appears to be a diversion might, in fact, be the true path. And frequently, we can only understand how the pieces fit together by looking back in retrospect. The most effective way to cultivate this trust is through small, mindful actions. Sip your tea without haste. Take a leisurely stroll. Simple acts such as these pull you back into the present moment and attune you to life's steady rhythm. Spending time in nature can deepen this awareness. Observing clouds moving across the sky, hearing the constant rush of the stream, or walking quietly among trees, these experiences invite you to sync with the same unforced rhythm that governs life itself. Taoist wisdom is grounded in observing the natural world, as nature demonstrates that nothing needs to be forced. Overthinking arises when we detach from these natural cadences and attempt to command what was never ours to direct. So when life presents you with delays or unexpected detours, take a moment before you respond. Instead of thinking, "Why is this happening to me?" consider asking, "What if this is part of a larger pattern one cannot yet perceive?" Trusting the grander scheme is recognizing you are part of something vast, something that develops according to its own wisdom. You are in the right place at the right time. The river is already aware of its destination. Our serenity is found in learning to journey with it. If you found this video helpful, please be sure to explore our full Philosophies for Life playlist. For more content to help you achieve success and happiness through profound philosophical wisdom, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching.